Twitch is in a very interesting place right now where they have to struggle with VTubers. On one hand, some of the most popular streamers on the platform are VTubers. I think if you look at the top 10, there's like 5 or 6 of them last time I checked. So they're very profitable, but at the same time, Twitch is freaking out because there's a very Christian platform that prides itself on family values and making absolutely sure that people don't get to see any boobies. I mean, no. Look, if you have a daughter, according to Twitch, and her VTube avatar is problematic, what you need to do is to get a real camera for your daughter, take her clothes off, put her in a bathtub, and then she can stream on Twitch. But if it's a VTube avatar, then there's a lot more regulations that she needs to follow. So for a while, a lot of VTubers noticed that they get banned for certain things that other VTubers don't. So it made no sense to them because there was no feedback, there was no transparency in the rules. And it was just like Twitch playing favorites. But now they're coming out and they're actually saying what can get you banned. So the first one has to do with the age of the character. So if your character is underaged presenting, then you cannot make sexual jokes of any nature. Which is completely understandable. I mean, no one wants to see Eric Cartman. No one wants the Rick and Morty. Like, that is just vile. That is disgusting. Now, if you have an underage character and wants to talk about LGBT themes, well, that's American. That is what Twitch stands for, right? So, if you have a VTube character that's underage, you must make sure that you completely talk about LGBT themes, about queer stuff, about allowing your audience to how to better explore their sexuality, but don't make any other types of South Park jokes because that's over the line. Now, the interesting thing about this is that it's not difficult to comply. Like, many streamers that have some of these characters, they're just, going to have to make content the same way that Gargura makes it. Like, Gargura manages to not make any lewd jokes. She manages to still be entertaining without having to appeal to fan service. The problem happens with people that have models in between. Like, for instance, Pipkin Pipa. Now, she doesn't make lewd jokes, but, like, if you have such a model, what do? Because these models are usually not picked by the talent, they're picked by the corporation. So, the way it works is that you apply for a company, like FaceConnect, and they just give you a model. Now, from what I understand, Pipkin Pippa doesn't consider herself to be a lolly. Like, she doesn't consider herself to be underage. But is that enough? Is the lore enough to go by? What about Iron Mouse? Like, this is another model which looks a little bit weird. So, what I think will happen is that everyone that wants to stream on Twitch is going to have massive tits. Now, don't get me wrong, I like massive tits, so this is actually for my entertaining purposes. But the problem comes with the fact that these models usually cost around $2,000, $4,000. So you're going to have all the talent overnight just have to redesign their models and spend thousands of dollars. To be fair, animators are going to be happy. Like, animators are going to make a lot of money, and probably we're going to notice some interesting jiggle physics advancements. But yeah, I definitely think that more and more content creators that want to stream on Twitch, they're going to have to make sure that their model looks as appealing as possible, right? Big birthing hips, massive milkers, and then hopefully it's fine. But no, actually, they now have dress codes. Yes, the anime characters have dress codes, and some of them are quite ridiculous. Apparently, you need to cover up the hips. Who makes these rules, by the way? Like, I am genuinely curious, because if you look at American entertainment media before 2016, stuff like American Pie, or even like video game cultures, you would notice that hips are almost never covered. In fact, if you look at hip-hop music today, with major blockbusters like Wet Ass Pussy and such, that's fine. Like, hip-hop never gets criticized at all. Even though, like, they're promoting gang culture, they're glorifying gang banging, they're glorifying drugs and sex, It never gets any type of backlash, any type of criticism. But the moment you have a cartoon character, people lose their fucking minds over it. It's like, how do we control this? It needs to be contained. Like, the reason society is crumbling is because of the cartoon characters. Now again, it's the same problem that I told you before. Commissioning art, even if you have money, because it's expensive, it usually takes a couple of months for the artist to give you the actual drawing, for the animator to actually animate the clothing, and Twitch basically telling them, no, you're not allowed. Like for example, this character, right? This character you can find in many video games even today that are on the Apple Store. Like Nikkei, for instance, has this type of design, right? And it's like, it doesn't require an age gate to see it. It's not pornographic. I mean, it's lewd, sure, you know, but like American comics, like DC and Marvel used to create characters like this back in the day, and you have like skin-tight outfits for characters like X-Men, like Rogue, like I wouldn't even think about it as a problem. It would just be like, yeah, I mean, apparently the VTuber herself isn't that lewd compared to others. So sure, you know, it's got sex appeal, it's being a little bit titillating, but how is it different than watching the Olympics and seeing the gymnasts that wear even less? I mean, it's just bizarre, right? And again, the problem with these rules is that they're financially impactful, the people that allegedly make money for Twitch, and they're not considerate about what they are doing. Like they could have announced this with at least like 3 months or 6 months in advance so that people can actually decide the type of avatar that they're making. But no, they're like, we're making these changes. Now again, they don't understand that it's not like an actual woman that can just change her clothing. Like creating an avatar takes time and money and resources. So yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of creators just don't feel safe on the platform and just go on YouTube or on Kick or on other places, so that Twitch can benefit from, you know, just doing what Twitch does best, which is to promote LGBT themes and LGBT ideology. And that should be their viewer base. Oh, and of course, people in bathtubs. Like, that is another important aspect on Twitch. Like, seriously, it's getting to the point that if I was this lady, might as well just stop the VTubing and show your face and get in a bathtub. Like, it's going to allow you to be on Twitch. Well, this apparently is too much. I don't think YouTube has a problem with it, by the way. It's just very bizarre because there are music videos out there that have women which are more poorly dressed. And no one is complaining. In fact, like, YouTube even has exceptions for music videos. I don't know why it's happening, by the way. I don't know if this is Twitch, or if this is the payment processors, or is this the advertisers, or if there's some new legislation that they have to abide, because usually, you know, it's not necessarily like a legislation, but there are regulatory bodies in various countries, and they're basically like, okay, well, this is too much, you need to tone it down, kind of like the ESRB type of thing, you know? China used to be really upset about Twitch. Eventually, it banned Twitch. So maybe there's another country like China, in the Middle East or some shit. I don't know. It's just very bizarre that they're targeting. Again, like, if you have an anime character and it shows hips, it's problematic. But if you're a woman at the beach streaming yourself, that's fine. It's just, you know, like, most people are upset about the fact that the rules don't make sense. Like, there's no clear cut. You know, what is an underage character? Like, I have seen both sides of the issue. So you have like a character that looks like Pipkin Pippa, right? Like, we're not talking about the ones that are very small and they're obviously, right, VTubers that are presenting as kids. Like, we're not talking about those. We're talking about characters that just have flat chest, for instance, right? And because of the anime art style, they look in a gray area. Now, I have seen cases where the content creator, like Pipkin Pippa, would say, no, her character is adult. And people would be like, no, I mean, it doesn't look like an adult, so we're not thinking that it is. And then I also see characters like Uzaki-chan, which has massive tits. According to the lore, she's an adult. But because she's short, and because she has a wacky behavior, people will say, no, this is obviously minor code, obviously a child. So now they're not going with the image. Now they're not going with the massive breasts, right? So this isn't necessarily an issue if you're part of the audience, but if you're a creator and you have to invest money into this and it costs thousands of dollars, then I don't know if Twitch is the platform for you. Again, YouTube is different, Twitter is different, though you can't stream on Twitter, but Kick is there. So yeah, what they may end up doing is just alienating their creators, because even if you're abiding by these rules right now, who's to say that they're not going to make any changes in the future? And they're very arbitrary. They're not even like, this wasn't even a conversation as far as I'm aware. It came out of the blue. So this is why a lot of content creators are upset. It's like, well, if there was some sort of debate, if there was like at least the idea that this may be a problem, well, they would have expected it. And they're like, okay, well, more and more people are thinking that this is unacceptable, so I'll just commission a different model. Apparently, according to Twitch, this is not covering it up, right? Like, see-through clothing is still a problem. And I'm like, well, you do realize that it takes some talent in order to make clothing like this. Like, for the artist, I mean. It's not very simple. And she was probably very happy with the thing, but now, no. You gotta change it. To be fair, like, for her, it's not that difficult. All she has to do is zoom in. Like, most VTubers just show waist up anyway. So, like, it's fine for her. But it's ridiculous. And what's also interesting is that it doesn't apply to video game characters. So, if you're in VR chat, then that's fine, right? So, like, if she takes this model and she puts it in VR chat, no one would complain. Like, she's not breaking the Twitch rules. And again, like, who's making these rules? It's so fucking bizarre. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.